What's going on, guys? Another week, another video. My name is Fabio Palvelli. I'm here with the D2 conference to bring you once again one great talk about visualization industry. This time I had the chance to talk to Tony Billet of AB Sketches. He has shared some very important insights about his business, about his career path. He told us basically his story. I am very excited to have this guy on the show this time because he's a very clever guy as well as very creative and very determined. I don't know if you're new to the channel, but we are giving away free beer coasters signed D2 conference. No, that's a lie. I don't know why I say that. You can come to the conference, we'll give them to you for free, alright? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like this video, share it with your friends, and I guess I'll see you in Vienna in 2018. Enough of me blah blah blah. Enjoy the video. As I was saying, it turns out that our audience likes facial hair more than not having facial hair. I've been trying...
Hopefully this will boost your ratings then.
Yeah, exactly.
A bunch of mountain men.
This is my poor effort, you know, my poor attempt at making myself look like an adult.
You look good, man.
Dude, how old are you? I think we are the same class.
36.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 82. I think you're 81.
Yeah.
Don't be freaked out by this, okay? It's just my job to keep an eye on the people that I'm interested in, yeah?
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
I know where you live and I know the name of your...
You're welcome anytime to stop by.
Of course, you know, I always talk about it with Jason, you know, my partner. I'm like, we should really take the chance to take a trip and go visit all our friends all over the world. By the way, I consider you a friend, although we never really met in person. But you know, sometimes this is the beauty of like social media, that you connect on an interest level so much with some people that you basically consider them as, you know, people that you've been knowing since forever.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I've known you for a very long time.
I know, I probably exposed myself too much. Dude, listen, first of all, thank you very much for taking the time to do this.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I've been following you now for a couple of years, and I remember like joining your trip or your journey, so to say, because I was very impressed with the fact that you were very young when I started to follow you, and you were already running a very successful business. And this, myself being an artist, has always sparked an interest in me, you know, to see how people can actually combine the two things, leading a very creative career and making it work also from a economical point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll let you lead from now.
Okay. Well, what do you want to know, Fabio?
Well, you know, to me, first of all, how did you get started? You know, what were the first steps? And also, I'm gonna ask you this later again, how did you figure out a way to keep yourself afloat and to make what you like, what, you know, this creative thing become your career?
Sure. Well, I got started back when the economy crashed, to be honest. It was a way to supplement my income. All of my background is in architecture, construction, design, build, project management. And when the economy crashed in the United States, it was across the board. You couldn't get a job in anything related to construction, architecture, design, build. So in order to, I had a young family at the time. I was recently married, I had a young son, and in order to try to generate some kind of income, I thought, well, the thing I enjoy and love most is the design and schematic aspect of the whole process, visualizing projects for our clients, trying to sell projects for our clients. So the company I was at 70 people. And when I was let go, I think I was like the 7th person left. So it was down to management team, and that was, they were pretty much on their way out. So I thought to myself, where is the economy strong currently? And that was in the Middle East. So we started off marketing, or I started off marketing very heavily to the Middle East, where their economy was strong. We were fortunate enough to get a couple projects, and we won some Blue Scope awards, and so some other sheiks and princes and so forth, they started hopping on board and working with us. So for the first 3 or 4 years of AV Sketch's existence, we pretty much only did work in the Middle East. And then I wanted to develop our company more to United States and more local, and so that I could see the fruits of what we're doing and be a part of gentrifying where I live. So that was kind of our next phase. So that's kind of where we're at now. We do work all over the world. There aren't many countries or I should say continents we haven't worked in, which is exciting. That poses challenges as well from a cultural standpoint and how certain people do business versus how we do business. And but it's all been a lot of fun. You know, it's always a learning experience every day.
You make it look like it's a lot of fun. And actually, you know, to be honest with you, I am really happy that we just jumped straight into this, because I was on the impression that, you know, of course you're a very good artist, but you seem to be an even better business person. And
Well, let me stop you there, Fabio. I don't do any artwork anymore. I do zero artwork. I have a phenomenal team here, who, you know, we keep growing, we keep getting better, and it's my job to make sure I keep the artwork coming in, and then they just knock it out of the park for us.
you know, I really hope that this podcast, this interview, will be seen by a lot of people, because, you know, the friction that I'm having now with the community is that people are not understanding why we keep on posting so much about the business aspect of things. And I think this is where the problem lays, you know. Very often the conversation that I have with people, especially from Italy, because I'm Italian, as you can see from the flag, they don't believe me when I tell them that the price of a rendering is X, you know. They're like, yeah, this is just for people in America or for people in Japan. And I'm like, no, the way business works, you have to keep a certain standard, even in pricing, everywhere you go, because, you know, the cost of a car is the same in Italy as it is in Austria, as it is in the United States, as it is in Africa as well. You know, you'll be surprised. And very often people just shrink down the conversation to, no, you're not a person that is able or good enough to make an artwork that can be sold. I'm like, I can bring you 100 examples of artworks that are not as good, but people really know how to manage their business and they push it, you know, forward. Now, I'm not saying that your artwork is no good. I'm just saying that you're doing an excellent job at keeping your company growing the way it is.
Well, you know, it's kind of twofold. We have a lot of clients that we would never ever post the work, and you know, that's important to us because it pays the bills.
Yeah.
Now our pricing is very standardized for the most part, so we charge the same for a warehouse as we do for, you know, something that's a little bit more interesting in architectural nature. But you know, the business side of it is that you know, you have your companies that specialize in just doing artwork, and that's great. But for us, it's more important for me to be a business fixture in our community that employs people, that gives great benefits, that does things for my employees, versus working on 5 amazing pieces of art and only having one employee that's a phenomenal artist, and that individual and myself just focus on that all day, every day.
Yeah.
You know, there's a threshold or a tipping point between being profitable and having a lot of feathers in your cap.
Yeah.
So for me, we try to balance it. You know, sometimes, or every once in a while, you know, we'll get this phenomenal architectural project, or we'll have 2 months to work on a project, and we can really focus on making it amazing. And those are the projects that we really we enjoy. But like you said, it's a business, so we have timelines where we know from a profitability standpoint we have to get so much done in a certain amount of time, and so we take that very seriously, as well as balancing that with quality. So
Yeah.
It's a lot of collaboration. It's a lot of problem shooting. It's a lot of open communication. We work in a very bullpenish office, so everybody's sits right next to each other. I don't know if you can see everyone here.
Yeah, I can see people going around. Hey guys.
They're starting to filter in. So anyhow, we work very closely together, and that's important to us. The other side that you kind of touched on is from the cost standpoint, and I'm sure you're quite aware, as everyone else in the industry is you have so many different tiers of what we do, and it makes the business side of it challenging as well, because there's more to our industry than just a mind-boggling image or a low price or a fast turnaround. I mean, you have to have a company that does everything and does everything well, which is, I think, where we find ourselves, is that do I think we can create a D-Box or a mirror image? Absolutely, I think we can. Can we turn an image around in 3 days? Absolutely, we can. We're not going to hit price points that some guys in other countries are going to hit, but we tried to take all the important things that our clients focus on, and we try to do all of them fairly well. And that's a challenge for us, as well as a lot of people, is that you can go get a couple $100 rendering, or you can go on Fiverr and find someone to do it for $50. Now you're going to get some jacked up SketchUp model with a filter over it, but that sometimes is okay for certain clients, and it's trying to explain to clients what the importance of a phenomenal image is in selling your project, or fundraising, or getting investors, or all the different things that a phenomenal image can do for you, versus just showing someone what it conceptually can look like-ish. So that's kind of what I focus on. And like I said, I have a very good eye for art. I did it for many, many years. I think I give good art direction, but I'm not involved in the art aspect anymore. I try to put in place people that are really, really good at what they do. So having great salespeople, having great office leadership and management, having great artists, senior artists, people that can do something and hyper focus on it very, very well, while I kind of macro manage the whole thing and make sure that everything's going in the right direction.
Dude, this is extremely interesting for me. But now, just to go back, to the masses. Very often when I present content like this, where I say, look at the person that is actually making it, the conversation always diverges back to the fact that you have a company, and having a company, it's actually easier. When I personally have tried to run a company, and I can probably say that it's 100 times more difficult to do that with a company than being a freelancer,
There's certainly challenges that come along with running a company. Our biggest problem is our clients who say we'll pay you when we get paid. That's always my favorite. Our contracts don't say that we get paid when our clients get paid, but for whatever reason, that's the story we get all the time. So, we can go months and months sometimes where we're overdue in payments, and just constantly chasing down clients for payments, and there's a lot of headaches that come, but I still have to pay my employees. I can't tell them, hey, I'll write your paycheck when I get paid. So that's the probably most number one frustrating thing that we deal with. Fortunately, we have a lot of great clients that we don't have to worry about that, but there still are. I mean, we probably have, I don't know, probably over 200 plus clients that we work with, and you know, there's some on the naughty list and there's some on the nice list, and we certainly try to be as proactive as we can with the ones who are on the naughty list, but that's my little Christmas tie-in there, or holiday tie-in.
I read a book. I can't remember now which book it was. I recently purchased it. It was about relationships between a client and you and a client, and the idea was how do you improve your relationship with the clients? Do you try to improve the relationships which are already very good, or do you work harder to improve relationships which are bad with clients which are difficult? And actually, right, the natural answer would be to focus on the good clients, but the reality of things is that you have to push even the bad clients to behave a little bit better and to respect, right, you a little bit better.
One thing that we say in here is equal business stature. So I don't care if you are an architectural studio that has 1,000 registered architects, or if you're a small studio that needs us to help out because you just got a big project and you can't handle 30, 40 images. We are a business. We are trying to put food on our tables the same as they are. And I think a lot of times these larger firms, they like to bully you or have control. I get it and I understand it to some degree, but at the same time, we still need to pay our clients. We still need to pay our employees. We still need to put food on our table. So I have a lot of conversations with our clients where here's our ground rules, and this is what, in order to work with us, we have to have a mutual respect for each other and treat each other on an equal plane, and things will be fine. And unfortunately, we have a lot of clients that don't always respect that, and I'm okay with not working with them. There's all you got to do is type in architectural firms or development companies or product development. There's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of companies. If there's 5 clients that don't respect us and don't want to work with us nicely, then there's thousands of other companies that we can go after.
Oh no, I'm 100% with you. This is why very often I get surprised when people keep saying to me, there is no work. How do you get more work? I always ask myself, why are people out of a job? I mean, I have to turn down jobs that I cannot refer to other people because I don't know if they're going to do as good as a job as I would do. So, it kind of like, I don't know. Yeah. It's
well, it exponentially ramps up. So the more employees you have, the more jobs you have to get. I remember when it was just me, it was totally different because, you would work on a job or two a week and you'd get paid and you'd be great. And, then another job would filter in. But one thing with owning a business is you have so much overhead. There's so many things that you have to make sure you're swinging and paying for. And that becomes a challenge where you have a lot of work. There's tons of jobs coming in every week, but at the same time, it's you're hiring a lot of people, and then you have insurance to pay for on that, and you have salaries to pay for, and you have so there's all these things that just compound that you have to continue pushing to get new clients. And to be honest with you, clients come and go. Depending on what their needs are, what their budgets are, sometimes we don't fit into their equation. And there's a lot of competition. Our industry is a very niche industry, but there's still going to be companies that are sending out 5,000 MailChimps a day saying we can do your job for $200. And the client sees that and it's attractive because of the cost point, but at the same time, there's usually a huge language barrier. They start ramping their pricing up very quickly. That's kind of the shiny hook to get them to bite. And after that, it goes really badly. And sometimes clients are embarrassed to come back because they've made this silly decision. And, so there's all of these different.
It's the so-called eBay effect.
Yeah, right.
You look for the Chinese cheap alternative to the stuff that you want to buy, and then you get it, and then you're like, shit, now I need to buy the proper thing, so it's gonna cost me the proper thing plus the Chinese ripoff. And it's at the end of the day, good clients, what they understand is that the prices that you guys offer, they are not linked to the price itself, but they're the result of natural assessment,
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's
Dude, let me ask you one thing. You just mentioned, this is a niche, and I agree with you, but are you personally thinking of like expanding into any other direction, or like offering more than what you guys are already doing?
I'm not sure how aware you are of what we do produce or create, being that most of what we create is under NDAs, and we can't talk about it, and we can't post it, and we can't do anything with it. But we do the whole spectrum, and we create videos and animation for different product developers. We do all kinds of packaging, branding. We do website configurators for all kinds of different companies. We do obviously the architectural side of things, which is kind of where we got started and our bread and butter, I guess you could say. We do film, we do lifestyle films. We do all kinds of things from a marketing and branding standpoint. So yeah, the architectural side is what we kind of push and post and market, but we do everything across the boards from a media standpoint.
Okay. All right. But you have never thought of like investing, say, in a coffee shop or...
Oh, yeah.
Because, no, but I can tell you one
no.
thing. I can tell you one thing. We are laughing about this now, but I have met people at the D2 conference, which, by the way, I don't know if you know, I'm just trying to be a fake, humble guy. But I've met people at the D2 conference that have actually taken the money from 2 or 3 years of like working at a very high pace in the field of visualization and investing into, say, taxi services or Airbnb or all kind of like diversification. And at first I was like, yeah, but I would never like to manage a coffee house. But then you look at the money aspect of the thing, and this guy tells you, random artist X tells you, well, with the money of the Airbnb, we can invest in a brand new Vibe team that actually only experiments in augmented reality, and we don't even need to go and chase the clients because the stuff that we produce and we publish attracts the clients itself. So we don't really have to do the client management part of our job. It just happens by itself with money that comes from other sources.
Right. Yeah. So the next thing that we're actually talking to real estate people right now is that we want to buy a building, and then we want to lease out the space as a so similar people to us. So we'll have architects, maybe engineers, marketing companies, all of these things that are synergistic to what we do. So then that's also a source of income for us, being the lessors, but also a place for us to stay so we don't have to pay rent. Just another expense of a business owner is that you just throw money away every month to lease a space. And so I want to try to avoid. Now, obviously there's costs that come with that. If the AC or heating unit goes out, that's my cost to bear versus the landlord. But that's I think it's a worthwhile expense or risk to take in order to try.
I'm 100% with you. I totally see where you're coming from, and I see where you're going. And to be honest, I'm a little bit proud of myself because I knew that when I was gonna ask you, you would have given me an answer, not be like, "What the fuck you talking about? Investing in in an ice cream parlor?"
Diversification is definitely what you need to do. If you hang your hat on one thing, I mean, you put yourself way too much risk. So, yeah, real estate and development is probably our next steps, and then we can also be a part of that from a marketing standpoint to market the development properties and projects and so forth. So. Yeah, it'll all probably tie in. My uncle owns an architectural firm. He's getting close to retirement. That may be an option. There's all kinds of things that we have on our plate to, try to expand and diversify, and yeah, just keep growing.
Incredibly interesting. I'm really I'm liking this. And I'm pretty sure that people will like it also.
I hope so. I'm trying to be very transparent and open because I don't think that many people really understand the back end of the industry. I think a lot of people believe that it's just one guy in his basement with a computer, and he just does this stuff real quick in Photoshop, and it's just not like that. This is a very legitimate, very profitable, very exciting industry that I'm not sure people truly understand because it's kind of like magic. That's what I equate it to. Like magicians spend their whole life developing their craft and getting really, really good at what they do. And when you go to watch a magic show, it just looks so easy, right?
Yeah.
It looks like you just flop your hands around and things happen, and that's super easy, but it's not. There's a whole lifetime of practice and things that go into getting them that good, and it gets missed, I think, because they make it look so easy. And it's no different than what we do. So we produce this beautiful image. You put it on their website. You do all these things to market it. They sell the whole building out before they're even done construction. It's great, and they don't realize what went into being able to do that and to be able to create the images and how much time goes into it.
Yes.
So
no, yeah, I'm 100% with you. It's I don't know. I wish we had a chance to bring a lot more people together and actually start a conversation, because I think at one point you can never fix the problem if this kind of information don't go around. And this is also one of the reasons why I'm really taking a lot of time out of my schedule, and actually thank you for taking the time to share this stuff with me, to kind of send a message around, to people, because very often when I hear that there is no work or that the conditions are really bad, I'm always thinking, man, to be honest, I think you're doing something wrong. And it's easier not to tell people that they're doing something wrong, but to show them that they're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Because
it takes a lot of work. I mean, we don't I don't just sit around and people come knocking on our door. I mean, we do have our clients that do, and they're very consistent, and we know what to expect from them. But any day they could go somewhere else, or any day they could have a rough point, or so for me, I mean, there were times I would literally get sleep 3-4 hours a night and just work for 20 hours plus nonstop, just emailing, calling, just plus doing artwork and creating marketing ads and things. I mean, it's just nonstop in order to get where you want to go. But it's something I love. It's something I enjoy. And so therefore it doesn't really feel like work. It just almost feels like a hobby that I get paid for. So that's my message to everyone, even outside of the 3D world, is find what you love, and it won't feel like work, and you can push and push and push and push, and then you'll be successful at it. There's no way you can't be successful if you're pushing for something that you love.
I would say amen, but I'm not really a believer. But amen. And not even living in Israel is changing me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you guys are Americans, and you have a different relationship with religion. I apologize.
No,
I apologize.
we're very liberal here. There's not.
I apologize.
I've oftentimes wanted to go Facebook Live just so that people could see the shenanigans and the
You should
conversations
do that.
we have
You
here.
should do
I
that.
think
I'm
people
telling
would
you.
truly enjoy it.
You should really do that. You should really do that. Dude, one more question, because I think we are a little bit, actually, we're way above our time.
Okay.
Developments for the future, like, are you going to adopt any technology, or like, are you interested in any type of technology that you think you guys are going to implement? Can be software, hardware.
Well, we have a render farm here that we're continually adding to. We work through Box with that, so we have a lot of Box servers. We have a whole room full of render farms, so we can crank a lot of stuff out pretty quickly, and that's important to keep growing from an animation standpoint, because animations can certainly take a lot of time. We're working a lot in VR and AR, doing a lot of real-time configurators. People seem to be really enjoying those, where you can put on the Oculus and walk through and select your finishes and select your furniture and select all your, all the different options that we build into the application. So that's one thing that we've been doing a lot of lately. Haven't posted any of that. Again, typically NDA work, so we can't post anything.
It's fine.
But yeah, so that's one thing that we've been doing a lot of, and they've really turned out pretty cool. Enjoying that aspect of what we do. But other than that, just doing the same old, trying to improve and get better at what we do.
Which is ultimately the best business strategy.
Yeah. I mean, just focus on what you do best, but continue to try to find other outlets. And like I said, the real-time configurators and configurators in general have really been really successful for us in this past year. It makes more sense for our clients to pay for quote unquote one product versus 100 different products, and let the client build and select and be more intimately involved with that whole process, versus showing them one image and saying, well, you can change this, and this. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because the reason they paid for the rendering to begin with is to show them what something's going to look like. So if you have 100 different options, the other 99 don't really mean a whole hill of beans. So we're implementing all of those, letting the client have their touch and feel on it, and that seems to be really going over well for us.
Tony, I'm using the non-pro version of Zoom, which basically allows me to record only for 40 minutes, and we have 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So, no, it's fantastic, because I feel like I haven't asked you anything, but the conversation was so buttery smooth that, hopefully people will just put the earpieces on and they will just listen to the whole thing. Before we get cut off, I just want to thank you very much for taking the time for doing this. I probably have the feeling that we will have to go back to this, and maybe, we can make another video or something in the future, because there are a lot of things that now, I kind of want to ask you myself. But anyway, we're limited by the software at the moment. I just want to thank you so much for doing this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the recording, so you can say goodbye to the people, you can tell them where they can find you, and then I'm going to say goodbye to you personally, okay?
Sounds good. Hey, you guys want to say bye? Get in here.
You have 1 minute.
1 minute. Get in here. Get over here, Jamie. Have everybody.
This is amazing.
Thank you very much.
Dude, where can people find you?
www.absketches.com, absketches.com. We're on every social media outlet that there is. So type that in and pick your favorite, I guess.
Dude, thanks a lot for doing this. We'll talk in a second.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank
Take care.
Bye.